My name is Julia, and today I will be guiding you through an at-home Vinyasa Yoga Flow. We will get started today in just an easy seated position. So any seated position will do, maybe cross-legged, maybe legs wide, up to you. Rooting down through the sit bones and sitting up nice and tall through the spine, the shoulders rolling back and down away from the ears. Crown of the head is lifted. Maybe the hands are resting on the knees or in the lap. The eyes are closed as we begin to settle in. Tuning into our breath. Tuning our awareness inward. Checking in with the body and the mind, and arriving to this moment. According to yoga philosophy and the chakra system, there are 5 layers of the human experience. These layers are called Koshas, which means sheath or veil. And each one makes up a different self. And so the first one is the physical body. It has to do with being here physically, showing up to your mat. For some of us, showing up is the hardest part, but you made it, and you're here. So we arrive in this physical body. This is where we begin our journey. Know that this journey is not short. Could take months, years, possibly lifetimes, but you've already chosen to go, and you began a long, long time ago. You've made it to this point. Know that this journey is your experience. It's your experience. To do with it what you will. You get to decide what happens. There will be limitations, but we need limitations, or else nothing would happen at all. There will be a lot of liberation as well. So as we arrive in this physical body, taking inventory of everything we bring with us, any tension, anything that we store physically, allowing the face to soften, the muscles to relax, but the spine stays tall. Feeling where your body connects down to the earth, where your body connects to itself. How we can witness different parts of the body at once. You can notice the big toe at the same time as your ears, yet there's a distance. Into deep in the breath. So we inhale through the nose and fill up into the belly, the rib cage, the chest and throat. When we reach full capacity of the lungs, exhaling slowly to reverse that flow from top to bottom. And so the breath begins and ends in the lower belly. You can imagine as if you were pouring a glass of lemonade from a pitcher into a cup. It fills from the bottom all the way to the top. And so we inhale, we sip that air, and we fill from the bottom all the way to the top. And then if you imagine pouring that glass back out into the pitcher, it moves from the glass from top to bottom, and our breath moves in that same way, releasing from top to bottom. Meaning to cultivate an Ujjayi breath if you have that in your practice, that victorious breath where we constrict the muscles in the back of the throat on the exhale, which creates an audible sound. It's a strong breath, but not necessarily forceful. Being mindful about that. And as we cultivate that breath, we begin to awaken the body, wiggling the fingers and toes. And on an inhale, circling the arms around and up to the sky, reaching the palms together at the top and exhaling to bring the hands down through heart center, bow the chin. Take a moment to set your intention for this practice today. And maybe that intention has to do with the koshas and this journey that we're about to go on, or the journey that we've been going on this whole time. Maybe it's to just experience it and to see what happens without judgment. When you're ready, bringing the hands back down to our sides, and we'll go ahead and make our way to hands and knees, a position of all fours. Just get there in any way that makes sense to you. We'll begin to move through cat-cows when we get there. Inhaling to lift the chin, open the heart, lift the tailbone, exhaling to round the spine, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, lift the mid-back. And just move in any way that makes sense to you. Doesn't have to look a certain way, just has to feel good. So feel free to add any of your own variations, your own movements. And so we've gone through the physical body. In Sanskrit, we call that Annamaya Kosha. And again, it's the fact that you showed up. You're here in the flesh. We're beginning to move into the second layer, the second kosha, which is the pranamaya kosha. It's the energy body. And so in yoga, we practice pranayama, which is these controlled breathing practices. These mindful breathing techniques, such as the Ujjayi breath. And prana is the life force energy that is in and around all of us. It has everything to do with the breath. And it has a lot to do with energy as well. And so we move in a way that is fluid and dynamic and energetic. We connect our breath with our movement. That's how we can sort of begin to get into this second kosha. When you're ready, tucking the toes, lift the hips for downward facing dog. Maybe you continue to move, pedaling the feet, bending one knee as we straighten the opposite leg. Maybe we come up onto the toes. Maybe we sink the hips real low, staying lifted. And again, it's all about feeling that energy all the way up through the fingertips as we press down into the earth, up into the shoulders, into the core, lifting through the tailbone, all the way through the legs. Downward dog is such a strong pose, very structured. Feeling the energy in downward dog. And let's begin to walk the feet towards the hands, making our way to forward fold. Inhaling as we lift halfway. Flattish back, shoulder blades pinched together, tailbone lifts, press down through the feet, slight bend in the knees, and then exhale as we fold back over these legs. Knees are as bent as they need to be, and maybe we grab opposite elbows, swaying side to side, feeling that energy. Dropping the weight of the head and the neck, lifting through the tailbone, pressing down through all four corners of the feet. When you're ready, release the grip of the elbows, bend the knees, and inhale. Circle the arms all the way around and up to the sky. Reaching up through the fingertips for mountain pose. Exhale as we bring the hands down through heart center. Samastita. Reconnect. getting into the habit of checking in with ourselves. What is happening in this moment? And our hands come back down to our sides. On an inhale, circle the arms back around and up. Let's take a side bend here, grabbing the right wrist with the left hand. Exhale as we side bend over to the left. Inhale into that right side body. Open up that right lung. Press down through the feet. Inhale as we look up through the hands, reaching through the fingertips through center. Exhale as we grab the left wrist with the right hand, side bend over to the right. Again, pressing down through the feet, reaching through the left fingertips. Soften the gaze, soften the face. Inhale into that left side body, that left lung. And then when you're ready, reaching back up through center. On an exhale, hands come behind us. Let's interlace the fingers and open up the heart. Pressing the hands away from the low back. Connecting the heels of the hands if it's available. Inhaling here expansively through the chest. And on an exhale, maybe we fold forward. Breathing here. And when you're ready, release the grip slowly. Maybe you start by bringing the hands to the low back and then reach down from there. On an inhale, halfway lift. On an exhale, plant the hands. Step or walk the feet back to plank pose. Just drop the knees here. Bring the big toes together. Separate the knees and sink back into child's pose. I'd like to remind you that at any time, if this practice becomes too intense, you can always return to child's pose or any other resting pose that you can just take a step back from the practice and come back to your intention and breathe in. Go ahead and come back up to hands and knees. And on an inhale, lifting the right hand up to the sky, peel the heart open. On an exhale, thread the needle. Right shoulder drops down to the mat, right temple drops down to the mat. And maybe we reach the left arm out in front of us. Maybe we keep the left hand where it was. Maybe we wrap the left arm around the lower back to create more of a twist. Considering stacking the left shoulder above the right shoulder, rotating through the waist. Hips stay lifted. When you're ready, planting that left hand, inhale as we peel the right hand back up to the sky. Opening up the heart. And on an exhale, lowering the right hand back down to the earth. Inhale, lifts the left arm. Exhale, threads the needle, drops the left shoulder, left temple down to the mat. Maybe we keep the right hand where it is. Maybe we reach it out in front of us. Maybe we wrap it around the low back, creating a twist. Shoulders stacking. Breathing here. Softening into that left shoulder. Softening into the face. Checking in with the body. When you're ready, planting the right hand. Inhale as we peel the left hand back up to the sky. Exhale as we plant the left hand back down to the earth, tucking the toes, lifting the hips for downward facing dog. Begin to walk, step, or jump the feet up to the hands, finding forward fold. Inhale to lift halfway when you get there. Exhale as we fold back in. Inhale, root to rise, sweep the arms around and up. And on an exhale, hands come back down through heart center and down to our sides. Inhale, circles the arms back around and up. Exhale, forward fold, wash away. Let's begin to move into sun salutation A. Inhale as we lift halfway. Lengthen the spine. Exhale as we fold back in. Plant the hands. Step walker, jump the feet back to plank pose. Knees can be up or down. On an exhale, bend the elbows, lowering down through chaturanga. And on an inhale, we either lift just the heart for cobra, or cobra. The shoulder blades are drawing together. The crown of the head reaches forward. The glutes are relaxed. And for up dog, we come all the way up onto the hands and the tops of the feet as the only points of connection. The thighs are lifted, the heart is open beyond the biceps, the chin is lifted. And on an exhale, we either send it back to downward facing dog or we take child's pose again, all right? Those two poses are always interchangeable. They're both resting poses. And so as you find your resting pose, settle in there and we'll take 5 breaths. Coming back to that Ujjayi breath if maybe you lost it. And coming back to the present moment. Seeing where you can find more softness here, where you can find a little more effort. Maybe the head and neck release as the tailbone lifts a little higher. When you're ready, bend the knees, look between the hands, find forward fold. Halfway lift when you get there. Exhale, fold back in. Inhale, root to rise, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands come through heart center, Samastitihi, and back down to our sides. Inhale, circles the arms back, around and up. Exhale, forward fold, let it all go. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale to plant the hands, step walker, jump the feet back, plank pose, top of a push-up. Bend the elbows, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog or child, your version. Asking the question, what is going on inside of me in this moment? Where does the mind go when the body is still? Can we focus on the movement of the breath? That exchange of energy that happens when we breathe. Using that as our tool to stay present. When you're ready, bend the knees, look between the hands, find a forward fold, halfway lift when we get there. Exhale to sink back in. Inhale, root to rise, sweep the arms around and up. Exhale, hands come down through heart center and down to our sides. Inhale, lifts back, around and up. Exhale, wash it away, forward fold. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step walker, jump the feet back. Move through that vinyasa. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog or child. 5 breaths. 5 long breaths. Yoga teaches us that we don't have to go anywhere. We don't have to leave our house or even leave our mat in order to go on a journey. That we have so much that happens within us that we forget to notice. When you're ready, let's move through one more round of Sun A, finding forward fold, halfway lift. Exhale to sink back in. Inhale, root to rise, sweep the arms up, big, and exhale, hands through heart center. and down to our sides. Inhale, circles the arms back, around, and up. Exhale, forward fold, let it all go. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step walker, jump the feet back, and vinyasa. Five breaths in your resting pose, then we'll add on to our flow. So what's important about checking in and asking the question of what is going on inside of me in this moment is that we watch without analyzing, without judging. Just simply see what is happening and observe, but don't attach any meaning or feeling to whatever it is. Instead, we just look from a place of curiosity and wonder, without judgment, without expectations. On an inhale, lifting the right leg for three-legged dog, just as high as it's available. If it feels good in your body to bend the left knee, stack the hips and twist open, you can. Inhale as we straighten the right leg, square off the hips. Exhale as we step the right foot between the hands. Pivot and plant the left foot. Inhale, rise up, warrior one. Maybe the hands connect, maybe they don't. It really doesn't matter. Tall here, hips square to the front. Press down through the outer edge of the left foot, down through the right foot. Feeling that energy draw up through the feet, in through the legs, in up through the core, all the way out through the fingertips. And on an exhale, surrounding that right foot with the hands, stepping the right foot back to meet the left. Option to flow through that vinyasa. Of course, you can always skip them if they become too much. They're really just there to keep the body warm and to feel that energy in us. When you're ready, inhale, lifts the left leg. Exhale, bends the knee, stacks the hips to twist open. If it feels good in your body, equal weight in the hands. The thumb and index fingers are where most of the weight is. So pressing down there through a sort of imaginary midline. Inhale as we straighten the legs, square off the hips, flex the foot. Exhale as we draw the knee into the chest and then plant it between the hands. Pivot and plant the right foot. Inhale, rise up. Warrior one on the other side. Pressing down through the outer edge of the right foot. Down through the left foot. Drawing that energy up and in. And back out through the fingertips. Exhale as we surround the left foot with the hands. Step the left foot back to meet the right. Option to flow through that vinyasa. When you get back to downward dog, make your way to forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale to sink back in. Bend the knees, feel the belly against the thighs. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Maybe the hands connect, tailbone slightly tucked, spine is long, chest is lifted, hips are low. Exhale to straighten the legs, Samastitahi. Hands come down to our sides. Inhale, circles back, around, and up. Exhale, forward fold. Let it all go. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step walker, jump the feet back. Maybe flow through that vinyasa or maybe skip it. Take 3 breaths in your resting pose. Letting it go. And so our journey that we go on is not short. And so we don't want to take extra stuff that we don't need with us to just drag along. So letting go of that stuff that we don't need, that worry, that anxiety, taking only the essentials. On an inhale, lifting the right foot back up to the sky. Exhale as we bend the knees, stack the hips and twist open if that feels good for you. Inhale to straighten the knees, square off the hips. Exhale, knee to nose and then step the foot between the hands. pivot and plant the left foot. Inhale, rise. Warrior one. Exhale, surrounding the right foot with the hands. Step the right foot back to meet the left. Exhale, lower down, and vinyasa. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, bends the knee, stacks the hips to twist open if it feels good. Inhale, straightens the knee, squares off the hips. Exhale, knee to nose, and then stepping the foot between the hands. Inhale, rises. Warrior one on the other side. Left foot is forward, right foot presses down. Exhale. Plant the hands. Step the left foot back to meet the right, lower down. Vinyasa. Take a few breaths here. And when you're ready, forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale to sink in. Bend the knees, sink the hips low. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, standing, Samastitihi. Hands come down to our sides. Inhale, circles the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step, walk, or jump the feet back. Maybe move through that vinyasa. Maybe you just skip it. No big deal. Remember to breathe. If I go too fast for you, then just take it at your own pace. It's your practice, your body, and your choice. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, bends the knee, stacks the hips to twist open. Inhale, straightens the knee, squares off the hips. Exhale, draws the knee in towards the nose, plants the right foot. Pivot and plant the left foot and rise up, warrior one. Exhale as we surround this right foot with the hands, stepping it back to meet the left and lowering down. Inhale as we lift the heart up and through. Exhale as we come back to down dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, bends the knee, stacks the hips to twist open. Inhale, straightens the knee, squares it off. Exhale, steps the foot between the hands. Inhale, rises, warrior one. Exhale, surrounds the left foot with the hands, steps it back, and moves through that vinyasa. Connecting every breath with every movement. Finding a forward fold. Inhaling as we lift halfway. Exhaling as we sink back in. Sink the hips low. Inhale, lift the heart for chair. Exhale through standing. Hands come down to our sides. Inhale, lifts back around and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, plant the hands. Step, walk, or jump the feet back. Vinyasa. Inhale as we lift the right leg. Exhaling to bend the knee. Stack the hips and twist open if it feels good. Inhaling to straighten the right leg, square off the hips. Exhale to step the right foot between the hands. This time, let's lower the left knee down to the mat. Inhale as we rise up to a kneeling crescent warrior. If you need more sensation, scoot the left knee further back. If you need less sensation, then just bring that left knee forward underneath the left hip. Alright? And on an exhale, let's straighten this right leg and fold forward for half splits. And so maybe you surround this front foot with the hands, or this front leg with the hands, or maybe you grab pillows or books, or if you have blocks, to go underneath each hand. And then that way you don't have to go as deep, all right? Keeping the spine long wherever you're at. On an inhale, bending back into this right knee. Curling the left toes under to pick up the left knee. Inhale to rise up to crescent warrior. So tall, high lunge, pressing down through that right foot. We're on the ball mound of the left foot. Strong bend in that front knee, maybe a slight back bend. And on an exhale, coming through center and then bending into that left knee. And so we're coming into a side lunge, all right? Just as low as it's available. Some of you might be very high, that's okay, all right? And when you're ready, let's surround this left foot facing the back of the mat with the hands. On an inhale, left arm lifts for dragonfly twist. Exhale as we plant this hand back down to the earth, stepping the left foot back to meet the right. An option to flow through that vinyasa, or maybe you just skip it and take down dog. On an inhale, left leg lifts, three-legged dog. Exhale to bend the knees, stack the hips and twist open. Inhale to straighten and square off the hips. Exhale, steps the left foot between the hands. Lowering the right knee down to the mat. Inhale to lift the arms, kneeling crescent. Exhale to straighten the front leg and fold for half splits. One breath here. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to sink back in. Inhale to bend through that left knee, pick up the right knee. Inhale, crescent lunge, high lunge. The right hip draws forward, the left hip draws backward, squeezing the thighs towards one another. And then on an exhale, coming through center and bending through that right knee. In the side lunge, sinking through the hips, just as low as it's available. And then when you're ready, surrounding the right foot with the hands, low lunge. Inhale lifts the left. Inhale lifts the right hand up towards the sky. Dragonfly twist, rotate through the waist. Exhale to plant the right hand back down to the earth. Stepping the right foot back to meet the left. Moving through that vinyasa. Inhale, opens the heart. Exhale, presses back to downward facing dog. Know that child's pose is still an option. When you're ready, bend the knees, look between the hands, finding forward fold. Lift halfway. Exhale, sink back in. Hips sink low. Inhale, lifts the heart for chair pose. Exhale, straightens the legs to come to mountain, Samastha Tahi. Hands come down to our sides and inhale, circles the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, let it all go. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold back in. Step walker, jump the feet back. Option to flow through that vinyasa. On an inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, bends the knee, stacks the hips to twist open. Inhale, straightens the knee, squares off the hips. Exhale, steps the right foot between the hands. Lowers the left knee on an exhale. And on an inhale, circling the arms up towards the sky. Straightening the right leg. Exhale as we fold back into a half split. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale to fold back in. Inhale to bend back into the right knee. Pick up the left knee. Rising up to crescent warrior. Inhale in here. Exhaling to come through center. And bend into this left knee. Side lunge. This time we'll add on coming to warrior two. So we're bent in the left knee. The left foot is pointed towards the back of the mat. Press down through the outer edge of the right foot. Shoulders relaxed, fingertips reaching to either side. And on an inhale, reaching the fingertips forward, flip the palm. Exhale, reverse warrior. Reaching straight up through the left fingertips. Breathing into that left side body. On an inhale, coming back through center. Warrior two. Surrounding the left foot with the hands. Low lunge. On an inhale, lifting the left hand up to the sky to twist open, dragonfly twist. And then when you're ready, maybe we pick up this left leg for twisted half moon. Or maybe we take a couple extra steps to get there. Maybe we plant the right hand, lift the leg, and then lift the left arm again. All right? It's your journey. And it's gonna look different than mine. It's gonna look different than everybody else's. And that's the beauty of it. When you're ready, lowering the left hand back down to the mat, coming all the way through to stand, and then placing this right ankle above the left knee for figure four. Inhaling here. And some of you might decide to straighten your supporting leg, the left leg, and fold forward. Some of you will stay exactly where you were in standing balance, pigeon pose. Some of you will be in a fold, and some of you might even take this further and bend through this left knee and go to a sort of toe squat, balancing on the ball mound of the left foot. Maybe you bring the hands to heart center there. Maybe that becomes too much. All right? Finding your version in your journey. Breathe. When you're ready, coming back to standing and stepping that right foot back towards the true front of the mat. Coming to low lunge, step the left foot back to meet the right, and maybe you flow through that vinyasa, maybe you skip it. On an inhale, left leg lifts, three-legged dog. Exhale, bends the knee, stacks the hips to twist open. Inhale, straighten, squares off the hips. Exhale, steps the left foot between the hands. Lowering the right knee down on an exhale. Inhale as we circle the arms up. Exhale, half split, folding over this left leg. Inhale to straighten the spine. Exhale to fold back in. Inhale to bend back into the left knee. Pick up the right knee on an exhale. Inhale to lift the arms around and up. Crescent warrior. Exhale to come through center. And then bend into that right knee. Side lunge. Beautiful work, you guys. Inhale to rise up to warrior two. Bending through the right knee. Pressing down through the outer edge of the left foot. Gazes over the right fingertips. Breathing. Inhaling as we reach forward, flip the palm. Exhale, reverse warrior. Reaching straight up through the right fingertips. Perhaps we wrap the left arm around the low back, or maybe it just stays by our side. On an exhale, coming through warrior two. Breathing here. And then surrounding the right foot with the hands. Inhale, right arm lifts, dragonfly twist. And then maybe we just go ahead and pick up the left leg to be in line with the hip. Or maybe we take a couple extra steps in between. When you're ready, lowering the right hand down to the earth, coming through standing. Maybe we tap the foot down in between, maybe not, no big deal. And then when you're ready, placing the left ankle above the right knee, sinking through the hips, hands at heart center, chest is lifted for standing balance pigeon pose. Stay here, maybe fold. And your last most challenging option is to sink the hips all the way down to that right heel and to work towards bringing the hands to heart center, balancing in this toe squat position on one foot. Maybe you fall out of it, maybe you try it and it doesn't work, all right? No big deal. It's part of your journey. Breathing wherever you're at, finding a focal point, a drishti, a point maybe on the floor that's not moving. So if you're looking at me, I'm moving a lot, you'll probably fall down. All right, and when you're ready, coming back through standing, slowly and controlled, and then stepping the left foot back, finding low lunge, step the right foot back to meet the left, and vinyasa. When you're ready, finding a forward fold. Inhale to lift halfway, exhale to sink back in. Hips sink low, inhale lifts the heart for chair pose, Utkatasana. And exhale, straightens the legs, comes through standing. Samastitihi. Hands come down to our sides. Inhale, circles the arms back around and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step walker, jump the feet back. Option to flow through that vinyasa, or option to skip it. Inhale, lift the right leg, three-legged dog, one breath per movement. Exhale, bend the knee, stack the hips, twist open. Inhale, straighten, square off the hips. Exhale, step the foot between the hands. Lowering the left knee down to the earth. Inhale to rise up, kneeling crescent. Exhale to straighten the right leg, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to sink back in. Inhale to bring a bend back into that right knee. Pick up the left knee on an exhale. Inhale, crescent warrior, high lunge. Exhale, come through center, bending through the left knee. Side lunge. Surrounding the left foot with the hands, low lunge. Inhale, left arm lifts, dragonfly twist. If it's available, lifting that right leg for twisted balancing half moon. Now on an exhale, lowering the left arm. And then maybe this time we straighten this right leg a little higher, coming to standing split. Maybe you work towards bringing the hands in line with the heel of the left foot. Maybe eventually one hand grabs the ankle. Maybe eventually both hands grab the ankle. All right, maybe that's not part of your journey today, and that's okay too. When you're ready, inhale to come through standing. Stacking the right ankle above the left knee, sinking through the hips. Standing balance pigeon pose. Either stay here, forward fold, or balancing toe squat. All right. Know that the option you chose before does not have to be the same one you choose now. You can change. Breathing wherever you're at, finding your focal point, your drishti, your gazeless gaze. Where can you find some more ease? Where can you soften? And how can you redirect that energy and put some more effort somewhere else? When you're ready, coming back through standing. Step this right foot back towards the back of the mat. Plant the hands, step the left foot back to meet the right for plank. An option to flow through that vinyasa. Child's pose is still an option. On an inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, bends the knee, stacks the hips to twist open. Inhale, straightens the left leg, squares off the hips. Exhale, steps the left foot between the hands. Lowering the right knee down. Inhale to lift the arms up. Exhale to straighten the left leg. Forward fold. Bow forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale to sink back in. Inhale, bends back into the left leg. Exhale, picks up the left knee. Inhale, lifts the arms up, rises up for crescent warrior. Exhale, comes through center and bends into that right knee. Side lunge. When you're ready, surrounding the right foot with the hands back to the true front of the mat. And on an inhale, right arm lifts, dragonfly twist. Rotate through the waist, press down through that right foot. And on the exhale, lifting the left leg. Or coming to twisted half moon in any way that makes sense to you. Right arm is lifted, left leg is lifted. Exhale, lowers the right arm down to the earth. Inhale, comes through standing. Exhale, sinks the hips to our version of standing balance pigeon pose. You're either here, maybe holding onto a piece of furniture for balance, or a wall, no big deal. Or maybe you're working with that fold, straightening through the right leg. Or maybe you're coming all the way through to this balancing toe squat. Breathing. Honoring your body for wherever you're at. Embracing the shake. That shakiness, that's just energy. Escaping the body, it's just energy. That prana that we talked about. Still working in that energy body. On an inhale, come back up through standing. Sending the left leg back and surrounding the right foot with the hands. Step the right foot back to meet the left and flow through that vinyasa. When you're ready, forward fold. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale to sink back in. Sinking the hips low. Inhale, sweeps the arms up. Chair pose. Exhale, standing. Hands come down to our sides. Inhale, circles the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Wash it away. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step walker, jump the feet back. Option to flow through that vinyasa. Inhale, lifts the right leg. Exhale, bends the knee, stacks the hips to twist over. Inhale, straighten and square off the hips. Exhale, stepping the right foot to the outer edge of the right hand, so it's different this time. Working into lizard pose. So, some of you might stay here, up on the hands, or maybe you use a chair for support underneath the forearms. Staying kind of tall here. Some of you will work towards lowering the forearms. And some of you will splay this right knee open, all right? One option is to lower the left knee down to the earth, or to keep it lifted. Maybe you just feel it in your body, see what happens. And we'll breathe here. The third kosha, the third layer is Manamaya kosha. It's our emotional body. It's our thoughts and our patterns, our habits. It's what we feel. It's that sort of energy that gets caught up in the physical body. And so it's that energy that has meaning, the attachment that we put onto it. Feel free to find some movement here. Some say that every 7 seconds a new thought pops up in the mind. I think that it's different for everybody. All of our minds are so different. Maybe sometimes we feel like we have more than one thought happening at once. We get tangled up a little bit. But through yoga, through meditation, through breathing and conscious movement, we can begin to create some distance between those thoughts and our true selves. Knowing that our thoughts are not you. You are not your thoughts. We can begin to notice the spaces between the thoughts. We can disidentify from our mind. See what happens when you become a watcher of those thoughts. And you can think, that's a weird thing to think. Why did I just come up with that? And sometimes you kind of just laugh at yourself. When you're ready, coming back up onto the hands. Stepping that foot all the way back to down dog. Inhale, lifts the left leg. Exhale, bends the knee, stacks the hips to twist open. Inhale, straightens the knee, squares off the hips. Exhale, sends the left foot to the outer edge of the left hand toward that left edge of the mat. Take your time to settle in here. Maybe you stay high for a few breaths and then work your way down. And then maybe eventually this left knee splays open. Or maybe you don't end up moving into it at all. Maybe you just stay exactly where you are. Finding your version. The fourth kosha is Vinyasa Kosha. It's the wisdom body. And that's when we begin to move into our beliefs. We move into the higher chakras. We get into the sixth chakra, the third eye. And it's when we can think and we can witness at the same time. It's when we can look at our beliefs and decide whether it's time to let go of them or to change them. We get out of the ego, out of the strategic mind, and into that place of intuition, that place where we can trust that we're exactly where we're supposed to be in this moment, and that we can notice so many things happening within us at once, and we begin to realize the abundance that is already within us, that we can take a journey within our own self. When you're ready, coming back up onto the hands if you're not already there, stepping the left foot back to meet the right. If you'd like to move through one last vinyasa, you can. Otherwise, feel free to skip it. You can be done with the vinyasas. That's totally fine. When you're ready, lower the knees down to the mat. Sink the hips back. Child's pose. Sometimes when we go through this journey of the layers of ourself, we begin to let go of these false identities, these false versions of ourselves that no longer are maybe accurate representations anymore. It can feel kind of vulnerable. It can feel like we're losing parts of ourselves. But then we realize that we are exactly as we were as a child, standing there sort of empty-handed. And then we can kind of laugh and realize that we have so many opportunities this way. When we begin to let go, we can be anyone we want to be. Maybe we begin to walk the hands over to the right corners of the mat. Stretching into the left side body. Inhaling as we come through center. Over to the left corner. Tug of war between the right pinky and the right hip. Inhaling into the right side body. When you're ready, hands come back through center. And then let's come up to hero's pose. Standing all the way up into the knees for camel pose. Maybe we just bring the fists to the bony ridge of the hips and let the heart open up. Maybe we reach the hands back and down to the heels and let the head hang back, opening up that front body, relaxing the muscles in the face. When you're ready, straightening the spine, sinking the hips back down, sweeping the feet out in front. Rooting down to the sit bones, maybe pulling that flesh away. Inhale as we lift the arms up. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale to straighten the spine, halfway lift. Exhale to sink back in. When you're ready, rising all the way back up to seated. And then sinking down onto our backs, keeping the soles of the feet connected to the mat, the knees point up towards the sky. Inhale to lift the hips up, press down through the forearms, rolling the shoulders underneath for bridge pose. Maybe we interlace the fingers underneath the body, lifting up through the hips. And on an exhale, slowly rolling down one vertebrae at a time. Bringing the knees into the chest, hugging them in. Bringing the arms wide into a T. And then allowing the knees to fall to the right side for spinal twist. Maybe the gaze looks over to the left fingertips. Maybe we place the right hand above the left knee. Knees coming back through center. Exhale, lets them fall to the left side. Maybe the gaze looks over the right fingertips. Inhaling, bringing the knees back through center. You rock a little side to side. Taking any last poses, any last movements before we move into Shavasana. So if your body still craves any last pose, any last movement, feel free to take it now. Or maybe we just take rest. Make sure to not skip out on Shavasana. This is where we get to the fifth, the final kosha, final layer of ourself, our human experience. And it's the bliss body. It's where we've renounced all attachments. And we're finally free. We all have this secret longing within us to be the truest, most authentic version of ourselves, to remember our light, to remember who we're supposed to be, and all this effort to try and suppress who that person is, who we are supposed to be, just creates a tremendous amount of suffering. When we get to the bliss body, that's when we remember that we're already the living Buddha, already special in every way, already enough. Scanning the body from head to toe, releasing every single muscle, every single bone, getting heavy as gravity brings you down to earth. When you're ready, begin to awaken the body, wiggling the fingers and toes, rolling the wrist and ankle, moving into the head, neck, and shoulders. Begin to bring the knees into the chest one at a time, and just rocking side to side, hugging the knees in towards the body, stretching into the lower back, feeling where it connects down to the earth. Allowing this rocking motion to bring you to one side in the fetal position, if that's available for you. Using the bottom arm as a pillow, the top arm presses the hand down into the mat. A symbol of rebirth. Coming up to seated in a way that makes sense to you. Finding a cross-legged position or any other comfortable seat, rooting down through the sit bones, sitting up tall through the spine, shoulders back and down. Palms open on the knees. Inhale as we circle the arms around and up to the sky, meeting the palms together at the top. Exhale as we seal it in through heart center. Bowing the chin in gratitude. The light in me sees the light in you. And where those lights meet is where we find connection. And that connection is the meaning of the word yoga. Thank you all for sharing this intense vinyasa practice with me today. Namaste.